Hey, hello, what's up, guys? Yes, it's me again. I came back to my YouTube video, and then yes, today I want to talk about something in English. And then today, well, before I continue, let me thank you guys who is watching my YouTube video. And then it's been a great help for me because some people keep watching my YouTube video and then supporting my channel, and then without those guys I have less motivation and keep on posting my videos to my YouTube channel. So I really appreciate your support. So yes, that's something I wanna say before I continue. Well, anyway, yes, the thing, what I want to talk about today, that how important it is to build the solid foundation of English language. This is very important because I've had a lot of people that even though they are trying real hard, trying to become an English speaker, they spend a lot of time, spend a lot of effort into it, but still they cannot start be able to speak English. And then the reason they cannot do that is because I think it's very simple, because they don't understand the truly understand the basic English yet. They don't have this solid foundation of English language. That's the thing that sorry, it was my dog. Well, anyway, that's the reason why I think they cannot speak English. So like if you listen to the native speakers speaking, talking each other, especially like a daily conversation, you will notice that they only speak in very simple English, right? They only using very simple English words mostly, and then using very simple sentence structures, right? They nothing is really complicated. They just speaking in very simple English, right? So if you truly understand the basic English, you should be able to speak English. And then if you cannot, still, that means that you don't have this solid foundation of the English language yet. That's the answer. And then, one thing that I wanna say here is that even though you don't have this solid foundation of English language, you can still pass that difficult English test, such as like the ACAN Step 1 test. You could still pass that test, even though you don't have that solid foundation of English language. And then, if your goal is that passing the test is only your goal, and if you after passing the test you said it's okay, you won't use English anymore, that's okay. You could just go ahead and just trying to whatever you have to do to pass the test. But your goal is after passing the test, and your goal is use English and use English skill on the job or trying to communicate to people from around the world. Those kind of stuff. Those are the things that you are actually those are the if those are the goal, then you should think about you should ask yourself again, if you really understand the basic English, because sooner or later you will realize that if you don't have that solid foundation yet, you realize that how important it is on the job, and then because I mentioned that I used to I like I think the video was the last video. Was it the last video? Yes, last video I talked in Japanese, and then the title was like maybe 今日は愚痴らせてください or something. Yeah, I mentioned in that video that I used to work in a company like 14-15 years. I was using English, and I've seen a lot of people, and then I know at first hand how it's like, how important it is to understand, to understand truly understand the basic English, because without it you cannot do much. I mean, you just can't communicate very well with other people, or maybe again if you again as I mentioned earlier, if you don't the native speakers speaking using very basic English, right? And then that's the key, I think. So like business writing, and then first rule writing a business letter is that make it very clear, very simple, so that everyone can understand it, because a lot of times that you are dealing with a lot of people from all around the world, right? And a lot of times they are not native speakers maybe. So that's a first rule you have to stick with when you're trying to run a business letter. You've gotta make it very clear. You've gotta very simple. You've gotta write a letter, that everyone can understand, without any confusion or anything. So for that, that solid foundation of English language is very important, and at the same time, this solid foundation of English language, truly understand that the basic English is the key, to become able to speak English, right? And then that's very important. And then sooner or later you will realize that if you don't have this solid foundation, you will regret. I'm sure about it, because I've seen a lot of people at the first round, right? Because of my experience. And then I truly highly recommend you to talk yourself again, ask yourself again if you really understand the basic English or not. And then if you think that you cannot speak in English, most likely that you still don't understand, truly understand the basic English yet. That's most of the cases, that's the reason why you cannot speak English, even though you are trying real hard. So yeah, you could just try to you've gotta stick to the basic. And for example, like if you could maybe if you could just read simple English sentence aloud over and over again, so that you could say it without thinking about in your head, without much thought. It's like a reaction. You could say, you don't have to think anything until you've got to try to understand or feel that the basic English in the sentences, so that you could understand when the people are speaking or reading very simple English. You don't have to translate in your head. Your brain just understand everything as English without any translation. And that's if and then also that you should be able to, like, you should practice trying to express yourself using only the basic English words and English sentence, like just like native speakers is doing while they are talking among each other, so that is something that a lot of people is overlook, the basic English. It's really important. And then so that's something I want to talk about today, because I feel this, because as I said on the previous video, I started working for a new I got this new job, right? And I've been doing this for like it's 1 year I want working for this company. And then before that I have this experience, and then I've seen a lot of people, and then I always think that basic English, solid foundation of English language is most important thing, and that will be the key to become an English speaker. And then do a great job on the job. So well, anyway, thank you very much for watching my YouTube video again. And I'm kind of a little bit tired, and then I while I'm speaking I'm kind of like excuse me, I don't know, I just, this is, I feel a little bit tired. Yeah, and then, anyway, yeah. It happened, right? And because if you are tired and if you try to say something, even though you are trying real hard to say something, but your mouth doesn't just move, or, brain is not just working right, or anyway, yeah, people have this kind of thing, right? Well, anyway, thank you very much for watching my YouTube video again, and then I'm going to see you in the next video. Until then, adios. Bye.